This isn't a point or anything, but the happiest man alive would choose to be happy when it's hard to be happy. Pro athletes have to play the sport that they love when they don't want to play it. So the pro athlete of happiness would have to be happy when he doesn't want to be happy. It is a choice to be happy. So, with that being said, what are the things that I attribute to my success? Going from point A to point B, what have I done to get myself into this position to where I can say with confidence and look myself in the mirror and not doubt myself for a second that I am the happiest man alive? And if that ever gets out of hand, that I know that I am the happiest that I've ever been in life. So with that being said, the first thing I want to cover is that I quit listening to self-deprecating music. This is something that I think comes very easily because I think subconsciously we listen to the music that speaks to us anyway. And when you begin to start living a happier life, the music that you want to listen to is just happier by default. So automatically, the old self-deprecating music, the toxic music that doesn't put you in a better frame of mind, improve your mood, make you feel better about yourself, make you want to get up and move, freeze your mind for creativity instead of fogging your mind with negative self-talk. Put on something that has a good beat, is at a good frequency. And I'm not saying don't listen to music that doesn't bring out different emotions in you. I think there's a time and a place for that. Sometimes you want to dive deeper into sadness, and sometimes you want to dive deeper into a more calmer music. And maybe sometimes you do want to provide a little bit of fuel to your flames if you are frustrated about something. There is a time and a place to dive deep into different emotions, and you can't just be happy all the time. And that's one thing, is if you're going to be the happiest person, you have to be in acceptance that there are going to be other emotions that you're going to feel. And the happiest person recognizes that, and he is accepting of that, and he doesn't try to fight it. If he's accepting, he can be at peace with it. But if he tries to fight against it, he is at battle against that all the time, and it's human nature, so you're never going to win that battle. And it's much easier to be happy when you are at peace than when you are at battle with something. So yeah, boom, listen to happier music. Boom, let's move on. Bam. You like that? Anyway. Number 2, you must have a full relationship with God. Heavily on the friendship aspect, also heavy on when you are praying. The vast majority or the margins of that prayer should lean towards gratitude. I used to be an atheist. Now, I grew up in a Christian household, so I've always been around Christianity. But for about 6-7 months, I was an atheist, right? I'm coming at you from the other side. Because if you're an atheist, I think a lot of times you hear God, and it shakes up your whole worldview, and sometimes you just close your ears, and you don't really want to hear it, because you're like, oh, that's superstition, a fairy tale, blah, blah, blah. Even psychologically, the act of prayer does something to the mind. Even, I think, in an atheistic perspective. And I pray every single night, for the most part, and most of that prayer is gratitude. And I think that has brought me so much joy. And it talks about in the Bible, Jesus heals 3 men with leprosy. But the 3 men come to Jesus and ask them to heal their leprosy. Jesus says, go away or something, and you've already been healed. Along their way back home, they both get healed. 2 of the men run into the town and begin to tell everybody and show that they've been healed from the leprosy. 1 man runs back to Jesus and praises him and thanks him for all that he has done. And Jesus blesses that man for that. And I pray that I am that man for the rest of my life. I might not be perfect, and I might not follow God in the way that I know that I should all the time. But you can be sure that Charlie Cotton will be grateful for the things that he has, and he will consciously acknowledge them and thank God for them. And I will not take these talents that my God has bestowed upon me and bury them in the sand and not grow them and earn interest on the things that God has invested in me. I don't want this whole video to be about this, but so much of my joy is because I believe in Jesus Christ. As an atheist, I don't think there's much reason to be joyful. And I think 100% you can find joy and purpose and make it up in your own mind. But at the end of the day, it's all relative. And at the end of the day, no matter what you say is purposeful, no matter what you say is meaningful, no matter what you do, it means nothing. It might mean something to you, but absolutely it means nothing. in the grand scheme of the universe. And you will be gone in a couple decades, and you'll be forgotten in 3 generations. And that's your life. And some people find that liberating, and it is liberating to an extent, but you can't comprehend the joy that is coming to me. Let's move on. Number 3, not procrastinating on making hard decisions. This is something that I've really come across this year is you waste more time and cause more harm to yourself worrying about the decisions that you need to make. And it takes less time and less pain just to make the decision. And a lot of times if you do one hard thing, you knock out a lot of other hard things right after in rapid succession. Because you get one hard thing done and you're like, oh, what other hard thing do I need to get done today? And you just go and do it. Don't procrastinate. Do the hard thing. You'll thank me later. Your future self will thank you later. And you'll be a happier person. That's what we all want, right? Boom. Number 4, understanding okay, big word time. Understanding the idiosyncrasies and the inner working faculties of your mind, your triggers, behavior patterns, and emotional intelligence, etc. So, I'm fascinated with psychology. I know everybody might not be fascinated by psychology. I think psychology is absolutely fascinating. I love understanding the way that my mind works. Why? Because it clears my mind. And it causes me less brain fog. It causes me less worry and stress. Because when you understand the way that your mind works, it doesn't give you the ability or the chance to make up a story in your mind that whatever you're thinking is something else. And sometimes, a lot of times, you can tell yourself a story. I'm always telling myself stories. I'm definitely a person who has an inner voice or like an inner monologue. But a lot of the times, I can tell myself a story about why the world is the way that it is, and it's not true, and that story actually hurts me as a person or the way that I see the world. When you understand the way your mind works, and you understand the actual scientific reasons why you think the way you think, why your brain feels this way, how to get rid of it, it calms you down because you're like, oh, okay, I am feeling angry, for example, right? You don't have to feel angry. And you're just feeling angry. You're not angry. You're just feeling angry. That has been a big one for me. A big thing has been trying to be more in control. And I don't love the word stoic for this scenario because I don't think I'm necessarily the mascot for stoicism because I'm not very nonchalant. I'm very chalant. But yeah, understanding the way that your mind works and why you feel the way you do and that you're only feeling it and that's not who you are. If you're angry, you're not angry, you're just feeling angry. And if you're just feeling angry, well then you could just choose to feel happy because an emotion is not real in a sense. But in a sense it is real because you're experiencing it, but it's not material. So that means that it's, scientifically it might not be, but in bro science, it's kind of made of the same things as your thoughts. And you can choose what thoughts you want to think. So if your emotions are made of the same things that your thoughts are made of, then you can choose what emotions you want to feel. Do the inner work, and you'll be a lot happier person. Boom. Number 5, daily exercise, cardio plus lifting weight split. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I think all of us know that you'll be a much happier person if you're in shape. I don't think you should just be lifting weights. I can kind of fall into this category like, I just lift weights, blah, blah, blah. I want to be aesthetic. You can be very aesthetic and your body won't work very well and you won't be very athletic. If your body doesn't work well and you look aesthetic, yeah, it's still cool because you look aesthetic, but you want your body to be able to work well. So do some cardio. And cardio is very healthy for you. You'll live a longer life. And when you live a longer life, you get to be happy for longer. Yeah. Do your cardio and do your weightlifting. Number 6, tracking my goals on a daily basis using a chart. So again, like I said, I have a mirror over there. Right above that mirror, I have a working out tracker. I printed it out. Just go to Google, do like 1 year tracker thing. I don't know. Just use your brain and come up with a prompt, and Google's going to give you one. Go and print out an image of that, tape it up. Look, bro, it doesn't have to look pretty. It just has to work. You can even make one of these yourself. It takes more time that way. Just go print it out. You'll save yourself time, because I know you're a busy person. And that's why I'm trying to get this video as quickly as possible. That's why I'm trying to be precise with the way that I speak. Providing you value. Go do that, because it allows you to see how productive that you are. And if you're watching content like this and you're about 20 minutes into watching this video, you're probably a pretty dedicated person. You probably really do care about improving your life. So you're probably being pretty consistent in the gym, or you might not be. It really doesn't matter. It just depends on what your goals are. If you're being really consistent in the gym, it helps a lot to be able to see your daily streak. For example, I just broke a 45-day streak. I only broke my 45-day streak because I got sick. Now I'll start another streak, and guess what? I have so much more motivation to keep that streak because I want to beat my 45-day streak. I only really got that 45-day streak because I was so dedicated on, I want to not break this streak. It helps a lot with being consistent, and when you're consistent and see progress over time, what happens? You're happy. Because why? You're achieving your goals. That's what we all want. Achieving your goals releases dopamine and it releases serotonin. Very good hormones to have. Serotonin being your feel-good happiness hormone. Dopamine being like, let's go achieve this goal hormone. It's kind of confusing. Both good to have. We like to see it. Have a goal tracker. Good stuff, bro. Go print that out. We like to see it. Number 7, eating healthy and getting your diet tailored to you specifically. Now, this is pretty advanced. Just give me a second. I just recently, or over the past couple months, have went to a natural health doctor. If that's wrong, this is what it's actually called right here. And basically, they just try to heal you organically using foods and tracking your diet and making you eat the things that you need to eat that is good for your body. And something that I learned is that just because it's healthy or just because it's whole foods, that doesn't mean that it's good for you specifically. Yes, it's 100% better than eating McDonald's every day. But a lot of times you could have allergies that you don't even know about. For example, I am allergic to eggs. The heckiyante. And guess what? I was eating eggs like every single day. I'm also allergic to cheese in a weird way. I'm like also not. Basically, it just causes inflammation in my gut. So I don't eat cheese. I don't eat dairy right now. I'm on a paleo diet, but I also eat beans and I eat rice because I'm not inflamed by rice. And I'm eating very little sugar. I don't eat refined sugar. I eat like fruit sugar and maple syrup and stuff. And guess what? I feel amazing, like absolutely amazing. It's really, 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 really cool how different you feel when you're eating the food that you're supposed to be. I don't get bloated after I eat. When I was eating the way I did before, I would always get extremely tired after I ate. And I wasn't feeling very good, and my stomach would hurt a lot. And just an FYI, the reason why I'm doing this is because, as you can see, I have acne on my face. It's doing pretty decent, considering I am not putting any topical stuff on my face. Before, I was using Proactive, and it helped it, but it wasn't curing what was going on inside, and I kind of got used to the doses of whatever chemicals in Proactive. I forgot it. I think it's something that starts with a B. And yeah, I just want to fix this acne, and gut problems do kind of run in my family, so we just went ahead and paid the big money. Thank you to my parents for paying that. And we're improving and we're getting a lot better. And apparently my intestines were very inflamed and I had a bunch of weird ass stuff going on in my stomach. I'm losing my voice, so I need to finish up this video as quickly as possible. But yeah, just if you have the money to invest in making your body the best that it can be. You only get one body. And if you only got one car that you were going to have to use for the rest of your life, you would take care of that car very well. If your body's taken care of, you'll be more happy. And I know you want that. Take care of that thing. Number 8, keeping your circle of close friends small and healthy. Look, I think it's great to have a big circle of people around you. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it can be risky because you are opening yourself up to more things that could go wrong. Obviously, more moving parts, more things that can go wrong. But I think it's less important about kind of who your distant friends are. You know, you hang out with them every now and then, you talk to them. I don't think they could be whoever for the most part. It's your close friends, your top 5 people that you hang out with, the top 3 people that you hang out with. That will determine truly on so many metrics who you are as a person. Because you'll find that the people that you hang out with the most, their voices tend to become the voices that you hear in your head as you go through your life day to day. And so if those people are going to determine a very large chunk of the thoughts that you think, and the thoughts that you think determine your mental well-being, you need to pick those people very wisely and be very careful about who those people are. It is essential, my friend, to have a good inner circle around you, because in a very real way, those people will determine your future, and in an even more real way will determine how you think and feel throughout the days of your life. And we could tie that into making hard decisions. You know, number three, sometimes you have to make the hard decision and cut off somebody that you really love hanging out with, but they're really not good for you in the long run. Sometimes you have to make that hard decision. I've been there and done that. And much love to all my homies, and shout out to the silent friendships. I love these guys to bits, but I'm a busy man. And very few people these days are going to get my immediate attention unless it's an emergency. If any one of my homies, no matter how much we talk, text me with a great deal or a great big emergency, I'm going to be there for you ASAP. But if I see you text me and it's just like a, hey, what you doing text, I might hold off. And no hate, no not love to you at all. I love you, bro. I want you to succeed just as much as everybody else. But I'm busy. And I love you, and I'll get to you when I have time. Shout out to the silent friendships and to any of my homies watching this. Love y'all boys, but your boy's on his grind. And yeah, no hate to any of y'all. All right, moving on. Number 9. We have one more after this, and then for the people who stuck around, I got some bonus for you. Number 9, more or less finding the balance of being and doing. Now, this is a philosophical thing, but I think a lot of what I'm talking about today is quite philosophical, or at least to do with the mind. Someone with a type A personality. I'm very driven. I'm a very driven person, and I want to do big things and succeed at my goal. And a lot of times the best thing for me is just taking a breather and being in the present moment. If we were going to rate these in metrics, this one would be pretty high up there in terms of how much happiness it gives me. And I think the idea of it is quite self-explanatory. Sometimes we need to be in a doing mindset, and sometimes we need to be in a being mindset. A doing mindset is what I'm doing right now. I am filming a video for my channel. One of my goals is to grow this channel and to have a following of people who love watching my content. So right now I am in doing mode. But before this video, it is currently It is 11:36. Just an hour before this, or less than an hour before this, I was on FaceTime with my lovely girlfriend. That is me not in a doing mindset. That is me in a being mindset. And I'm very intentional about that. And I think a lot of people subtract from their happiness and their well-being because when they are in a scenario where they should be being, like being with your girlfriend, being present with your girlfriend and enjoying her company, they are in that scenario, a being scenario, but mentally, they can't let go of the things that they should be doing in a doing mindset or should be doing is not even really that true. And it's more of like what they think they should be doing. Because should they really be doing that ultimately? Or do they just want to do that? And they label it as they should be doing that. Think about that one. Talk about being a philosopher, huh? Philosopher. Man, I'm funny. I'm a comedian. But yeah, finding that balance and being intentional. And we'll get to this in the next one. Actually, let's just go ahead and move on. Number 10, being very serious about comedy ties in perfectly with number 9. You must be very intentional about things that you think you should not be intentional about. As a type A person, like I said, I can be very focused on the things that I should be doing, like filming a video or growing my business or lifting weights, very goal achievement oriented. And so when it comes to relaxing on the beach, being present with my girlfriend, enjoying a party, that feels like I am being the enemy of myself because I'm not being productive. I'm not going after my goals. So it feels like, oh man, you're failing in this moment. No. So you have it all wrong. When you're very serious about comedy, I tie that into being very serious about my leisure time. Being very serious about comedy came from Matthew McConaughey. But I tied that into being very serious about the time that I spend doing the things that I love that aren't necessarily things that society will reward me for. Nobody in society is going to reward me for having a good FaceTime with my girlfriend. But let me tell you that being able to FaceTime my loving girlfriend at the end of the day is one of the things that brings me the most happiness in my life. It is one of the most productive, most enjoyable things that I do day to day. Time spent doing something that you love is not time wasted. And when I'm with her, I'm very intentional about being there for her and being right there in that moment. That's the new goal. It's not me shutting my brain off and having to put all my goals and the achievements that I want to achieve on the back burner for a little while. That's me just making a mental shift to let's chase after this goal, which is having a good relationship with my girlfriend and loving her in the best way that I possibly can, because that's what I'm called to do. And that's just one scenario, and it works quite well for this explanation. And I'm not going to try to make up another one and fumble over it. But I really hope that you see what I'm saying. Be very intentional about comedy. Be very intentional about the things that society won't reward you for, but you find so much reward and joy and happiness in. Because at the end of the day, it's what makes you happy, not what makes society happy, not what gets the views, not what gets the likes. It's about you. What makes you happy, twin? Do it for you. Don't do it for anybody else. You make the rules. This is your movie. I'm a side character saying hello to the main character in this moment. But guess what? You're the side character, little bro. I'm the main character. Get it right. So since you stuck around, I'm going to give you a bonus because you're the GOAT and you deserve it. Bonus, dropping the nonchalant facade. And guess what? You stuck around for the bonus. So you get double bonuses. And for the bonus, finding a wonderful girlfriend like I just talked about. Again, this is my list. This is what makes me happy. Dropping the nonchalant facade. I'm not nonchalant. And I know in a lot of my content, I can say pretty nonchalant. That's not because that's exactly who I am all the time. It's a very real part of me because sometimes I'm tired when I'm making these videos and sometimes I don't need to be all chalant and whatever. But this video, I'm really proud of. You saw a real version of me. I'm me in a really comfortable state right now and I'm being very real to the camera. And it's taken me a lot of time to get here. I'm not nonchalant and I'm really working on just being myself, and I'm not a nonchalant person most of the time. Sometimes I am. And life's just more fun when you're chalant anyway. And like I said, for the bonus, finding a wonderful girlfriend. Look, bro, I know I got really lucky, really, really lucky, because I think with very real certainty that I found the girl that I want to marry at a very young age and very quickly without ever getting my heart broken. Hopefully saying this doesn't come back and ruin me horribly, but she is such a wonderful person and she shows me the best sides of me, and she pulls those out and brings those to light. And she helps me love the parts of myself that I thought were unlovable. And yeah, what she has done for me has been something that nobody else in my life has ever been able to do, and I will be forever grateful for that. Yeah. That's the end of this video. Much love, twin. Stay safe out there. God bless. Please subscribe. I need it. Love you.